Hello, folks. Welcome to yet another episode of the Cricket Hotspot podcast, and this is your host Sarthak, along with my partner in crime Parth. And we bring to you episode number 10.
Yes,
it's been a long time, and it's going good for us. How do you feel?
Well, we are getting settled on the pitch, as they say, and now it's time to build a long innings.
A long innings, perfect.
Yes.
Just an interesting tidbit about number 10.
Yeah.
Apart from the number of test playing nations, it's also the longest number of days where a test match has been played. So this was a timeless test back in, I think, the 38, 39, when England and South Africa were playing, and the match went on for 10 days.
Yeah.
Imagine a test match playing right now for 10 days.
Oh, man.
It'd be pretty long.
Well, considering they were going at the run rate of 2 runs per over on average, it will be a soul-wrenching experience for 10 days. And let's just remind our viewers, in those days there were 2 days for every 5 days. I mean, 1 day for every 5 days that was off. It was called a church day. So it actually went for 12 days, but there were 10 playing days. Very tiring.
And I believe, if you remember correctly, the match was called off on mutual agreement because they had to catch a ship to go back to England.
Yes. And the next ship would leave maybe some months after. So
wow.
Yeah, look at the times we live in
absolutely
in the days of IPL, where a player gets a private jet treatment to attend a match just a day after for their home country. Interesting, very interesting.
Perfect. Fast forward to 2011 now, and we'll definitely go through some of the most recent cricket happenings on the field and off the field, and discuss as to what we do best.
Yeah.
So let's begin. Let's talk a little bit about the India-England series. Finally, India winning a match against England.
You know, since we started this podcast, it was lucky or unlucky that India had not won a single match after we started this podcast. I was getting scared that this is the podcast creating so much problem for India.
That's true. We thought we jinxed it, but
yes, we thought
fortunately, they have proved us wrong.
Yeah.
It's not the case. They are lions at home, just like England. So, anyways, let's forget the bad memories of the away tour, and now let's talk about the home tour.
I mean, definitely the star for me in all the 3 matches has been MS Dhoni. His role has been astronomical. His shots have come back. I think it was in the first match I saw him first time play the helicopter shot after a real long time.
After the World Cup.
Probably he didn't even play that shot in the World Cup.
Once,
he didn't,
I think.
Yeah.
Once or twice.
Yeah, but it was after a really long time I saw him play that shot, and that's when you know that he's back. He's really back, and he's. But Kohli also playing very well.
Oh, absolutely. I've always said I'm a big fan of Virat Kohli. In fact, I predicted him to be the man of the series back in England.
Yeah.
For the ODIs, but again,
Rain was the man of the series.
Yeah, things didn't really go as planned, but I'm really happy that he's coming into his own. He's been performing consistently over the past few series, so this was in the making. But definitely, he's done amazingly well throughout the series. Again, he's contributed more than just with the bat. He bowls.
Yeah,
gets
amazing
4 or 5 good overs through with skiddy Chris Harris type action, and amazing fielder, be it close in or deep on the boundary. Perfect. That's the kind of cricketer you need in your team, who can chip in with whatever department you give him. Batting, bowling, fielding,
and he's the sort of like a next captaincy material also.
Absolutely, I think that's how people are looking at him as.
He thinks like a captain. I mean, he will always remain in contention with Raina on the captaincy, I think, for their career, because they are real contemporaries. They came together, and these two people are looked as two future captains of India. So we'll see how that turns out. But I think Kohli is getting some high points for this series and his performance with the RCB.
The other thing being, I think Kohli is a little more flashy or flamboyant out of the two.
Yeah.
Raina is a little more subdued. He'll do his job, but you won't see him off the field as much.
Like
and
partying and all the... Yeah.
So there Kohli sets himself apart from Raina.
Well, I think
Not necessarily saying one is better than the other. Though.
Yeah, I think it comes down to from which city or what kind of background you have had.
That's true.
Kohli comes from a bigger city, but Raina comes from a small town suburb, and the way they speak also in front of the media shows the difference between the kind of people they are. I mean, this is not actually judgment against Raina or Kohli, but it's sort of like man management and media management go actually hand in hand in today's 2011 era.
Absolutely. I think other than Kohli, another interesting or important factor for India has been return of Gautam Gambhir. That crucial number 3 slot, although Gambhir has not been promoted to open in spite of Sachin and Sehwag not being there.
I'm fine with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's a great decision. Rahane and Parthiv Patel have both done enough in the last series to give them an extended run at that opening slot, and that leaves the number 3 option open for Gambhir.
I think more than that, Rahane is solidifying his spot in Team India even when Sehwag and Tendulkar come back. So it's going to be an interesting battle.
Perfect. Yeah, and I think it's great that even the bowlers have stepped up. The bowling has not been below par. In fact, it's been pretty decent. Umesh Yadav has always impressed me with his pace.
150 kilometers an hour. I mean, that is...
An Indian bowler doing that is...
On Indian conditions is very...
Is reasons to celebrate, for sure.
It is. It's...
very impressive with his bowling.
Very tired to see 129, 130 pop up on the radar, and it was just... It was very refreshing to see.
Very refreshing. I think that's the right word, yes.
Somebody told me that he reminds them of the young Srishant, the way he bowls, his sort of swing, and Srishant in those times was also touching 142, 143. Umesh Yadav is a bit quicker, and he also has that bit of swing. Your take on that?
I think it's a little unfair to compare the two. Srishant did have the pace. Again, he is a little wavered. So as compared to Srishant, he was also pretty much the same.
Yeah.
But I don't know, for some reason Umesh Yadav just I have a soft spot for Umesh Yadav because of the way he comes in and bowls each and every delivery at that pace.
Yeah.
Srishant kind of gets cooled down a little bit as the game goes on. He's very temperamental. Umesh Yadav seems to have a little more stable head rather than our good old Sri.
Yeah.
So
Sri needs a Simons on the other end to actually charge him up, but yeah.
So I think in that way I would pick Umesh Yadav.
Yeah.
Although he needs to get his line right. I think he's a little
but
his scattergun approach.
That comes with experience, and something else that comes with experience in Indian cricket is that advice to slow down the pace. I hope that does not happen with Umesh Yadav.
Oh, let's hope not.
Yeah.
Let's hope not. We can take the few wide deliveries or few deliveries down the leg side and over, but we cannot. He cannot take away 20 kilometers per hour for his bowling. In any case, what about the England side? How do you think they feel right now, coming off fresh from a...
I think their player of the series so far has to be Samit Patel. He's batted and bowled well.
Bowling has been circumspect, but he's batted pretty well.
He's batted pretty well.
Fielding has been pretty decent too.
Yeah, fielding... Well, his fielding, yes, his fielding.
By his standards.
By his standards, yes. And definitely a good prospect. He was always... coined as their perfect ODI player if he got his act together, and it seems that he has, and he has been working hard. Very surprising and not surprising to see KP not perform, because as I have told you previously that I find that he sort of lost his lust to play ODI cricket, 50-50 cricket, 2020 cricket. He still has a very good average. He's not doing any favors to his career by playing not as good as he is in this series.
I think another important factor has also been the decent bowling performance by the Indian bowlers. I mean, instead of contributing this to KP's bad form, I think it's also been Indian bowlers who have adapted well to Indian conditions, and be it spinners or pace bowlers, in fact.
Yeah.
And they have done well. I think Vinay Kumar impressed in the last game. Sorry, I think there was a second ODI where he took 4 wickets.
Yeah.
So that was pretty impressive. And I think it's a good share of the of the winnings should go to the bowlers rather than the batsmen
especially
themselves.
in India, where you need to bowl your heart out. Do you think Tim Bresnan and Jade Dernbach have... I am very surprised by the way that they are bowled. I mean, Jade Dernbach, especially for the last 3 ODIs, has gone for over 6 runs per over, like around 7, very close to
He
7.
has. If you just look at the bare stats, that is the story. But actually, if you follow the match, I had the chance of catching the highlights of the couple of games. But he has actually not bowled that bad. Although his slow balls are becoming a little more predictable now, that because he bowls 2 to 3 slow balls and over, so they're becoming a little more predictable. The batsmen are expecting it a lot more. But the thing is, he has got the variations. He has got the pace. He's got the line and length.
No, I know what you're saying about the stats. I'm saying that have the Indian batsmen become too used to his kind of bowling because they have played him for the last...
That's what I'm saying, right? His slow balls are becoming predictable. That's his variation. Now, what he needs to do is use it sparingly rather than bowl every second ball a slow ball.
Yeah.
Batsmen are probably prepared for that, and they're expecting it. Also, the fact that they cannot use their bouncers effectively because of the Indian conditions, the flat Indian wickets. So that all adds to the fact that...
You talk about bouncers, but I think Stephen Finn has been their find of the series, and his bounces have been accurate. His line and length also has been accurate, although he's not known for his line and length, and he has been their shining star, and has been the sort of the Anderson role that they wanted somebody to fill.
Absolutely. I think if you talk of Dernbach, the kind of zip you get off the wicket in English conditions, that's what's missing here. And so when he uses the variation, it's not that big of a change as you would see in an English condition or compared to the Indian subcontinental conditions. So I think that's why they're suffering. Bresnan, I don't know. He
bowled well in the World Cup.
He bowled well in the World Cup, but right now, I don't think his length is right. He's either too short or too full.
Yeah,
that good length,
like the Ishant Sharma kind of a length.
That good length that you need to hit, just short of a good length, it's where you need to be bowling on Indian conditions at least, so that you're not giving the batsman a chance to come forward, nor are you keeping them guessing all the time, basically. So that's where he needs to be at. I think that's where he's going wrong. What do you think?
Well, you're right. I mean, I like your analysis on Bresnan because something is not right. But I think sometimes what happens is that a team is in a glut, and when team is in a glut, then things don't happen. Like India faced in England, people were doing performances. Ravindra Jadeja was playing well. Dhoni had some innings. Parthiv Patel had some innings. Ajinkya Rahane had some innings. Things weren't just happening for India. So when things don't happen, then every performance gets scrutinized and everything. So I'm sure it's just a momentary failure. Subcontinent does that to a team in general.
That's true. That's true. And plus, the way Indian players have adapted back to the home conditions, that's not helping the English players either.
Yeah.
So all in all, great to watch India come back, win 3 matches.
It's great to watch my predictions also coming back.
It's absolutely. I have lost my chance at victory already, but I hope you lose too. and I don't think you'll be complaining if you win 5-0. So. Perfect. No one saw that coming actually, but it's great that we're heading towards that. Let's see how the rest of the 2 ODIs go.
Yeah.
Anyways, jumping series is now going across to Dubai.
Yes.
Let's talk about Sri Lanka and Pakistan.
Well, I think let's try to combine the 2 series on one link. The new fast bowlers that they have brought up. One is Junaid Khan from Pakistan and coming for
Australia versus
So
South Africa.
I saw them. I saw Cummins in the Champions League. Very impressed. Very, very impressed. He bowls at a fair pace, and he has that wicket taking ability which most people lack. And he has, even though he can bowl a bad ball, it might still get an edge, or it might just go back to the stumps. And
we kind of go back to the same Dhoni topic when he initially came out and he started winning matches out of nowhere. A lot of people attributed that to his luck, but that does not matter as long as you are at the right place in the right time. It doesn't matter if it's your luck or your actual ability that's getting you victories. It's the end result that matters. Same with Cummins. I think he's a very good bowler, not great already.
Yeah.
But
he's not like a Dale Steyn that impressed you from day one.
Exactly. But he's got that wicket-taking ability, and no one cares how you get the wickets as long as you get them. And if you're averaging 3 wickets a game, which I think he is right now across formats, if you're averaging 3 wickets a game,
That's
no
amazing.
one is going to ask you questions how you're getting them as long as you keep getting them.
Smart cricketer.
Absolutely.
A teenager being smart and a fast bowler being smart is also a rare sight to see.
And actually, I took the opportunity to watch some of his YouTube clips from the Big Bash, and what impressed me was the presence of mind. He does bowl a good channel outside off, and his line and length are impeccable, but he also uses his variations pretty solidly. So he has a good slower ball, he has a good slower bouncer, his Yorkers are spot on. So all of that has been commendable, and just being 18, he has a long way to go ahead. So he can still build on his pace right now because if his body is still growing, sort of. So
let's talk about Junaid Khan.
Junaid Khan.
Pakistan seems to bring out fast bowlers like crazy.
I don't know how they managed to do it. I wish.
One day we should have one of our Pakistani friends come and discuss the topic of how fast bowlers are evolved.
Absolutely. I think that would be great, and I hope administrators in India listen to that.
Yeah, listen to that.
And I don't know how they do it, but it's commendable. It's amazing that they are able to produce fast bowlers with such great consistency. One goes out, the other comes in with no issue at all.
Junaid Khan was apparently a contemporary of Amir's.
Right.
And I think Wasim Akram backed Amir to succeed, and Amir did succeed, and he was very good. But since things happened, let's not go into more details. He has got a perfect chance, and he's doing well. I think the Yorker he bowled in the first innings to get it. I think it was Herat or somebody. That was a perfect delivery that a left-hander can bowl to a tail-end batsman, and that basically summed up how in-swing Yorkers have to be bowled. A very good bowler and very good prospect.
It's great. Fast bowlers always excite me for some reason.
Especially left-hand fast bowlers always excite
Left hand, right hand, no hand, it doesn't really matter. Fast bowlers just excite me for some reason. It's really something about watching a very good fast bowler just steaming in and bowling at greater than 150 or greater than 145 kilometers per hour and just bamboozling the batsman.
And to take wickets in UAE is sort of like taking wickets in, well, it is not sort of, it is like taking wickets in a dead wicket.
Yes. Yes.
Like, you cannot get deader than UAE.
If there is a word like that.
Yes,
that's true. I think it's great that he was able to take wickets on such a dead track. It'll be very interesting to see him on bowler-friendly wickets and see how he does there. Like Amir absolutely blew us away when he performed
in the T20 World Cup 2009
in England. Yes, and he didn't really get a chance to play in Australia, but I wish he did.
I don't think he did, no.
So
maybe he did. I think he did, yeah.
Okay, anyways, I don't remember much, but what is struck in my memory is his performances in England during the Test series before that entire match-fixing scandal or spot-fixing scandal broke out, and the T20 World Cup in 2009. So every time I've seen him there, I've been impressed. And
he was the next one to look out for. He was the next.
I was a big fan of his, and I hope he comes back. I hope he comes back. Well, if he's done stuff, he has to pay the price. But again, hoping the best.
5 years at the age of 18 is not that bad. You still have a good career ahead of you, even if you come back.
That's true. So hoping the same. Hoping that Junaid Khan will get a chance to watch more of him in bowler-friendly conditions and see him mature into a much better, much tear-away, or what do you say, much dangerous bowler.
Sanga 200.
Sangakkara.
You can
we predicted before the series began. We said the two players to watch out were Sangakkara and Jayawardene, and
especially on the dead tracks. Absolutely. Yeah. So definitely.
Imagine being so many runs down. You have to bat 2 days to save the Test match. He did it. He comes out. He takes the responsibility. Sees the team through. 200 and I think 40. I don't remember how much exactly he scored, but batting almost a day and a half out and saving the match for the team. It's great.
Yeah, but in the second innings of Sri Lanka, 5 catches were dropped.
Oh, that's true. So, Pakistan did their part by helping out Sri Lanka.
Actually, not Pakistan. Hafiz did his part by dropping 4 or 5 catches, I think. So
although he was the one we said we watch out for. The important link for Pakistan.
Yeah, he's actually a good fielder, and I'm surprised that he did it. But Let's just say that.
One of the better innings we've seen from Sangakkara in recent times, because
he was sort of going into his lull as a player. His last year, when he got the ODI Player of the Year, I don't think he deserved that, but he got it. That wasn't a very special year for him, but I hope this year is a great year, because there is nothing better than seeing a Sri Lankan batsman play a long innings, because they are the most riskier and the most flamboyant cricketers that we know.
It's great, and obviously when Sangakkara, being a left-hander, gets the natural elegance that you get to see, not from a lot of right-handed people, right-handed batsmen.
Yeah. And the keeper also made 100, so a notable mention.
Notable mention to him.
Notable mention. Moving on to the next segment, I think one issue that has been lingering in the media is to do with Anil Kumble and conflict of interest, and BCCI's president N. Srinivasan. Everybody is saying that these guys are not in conflict of interest, and as media generally does, they don't really explain what conflict of interest is, and they just throw these words around. What is your take on that?
I think just to give a little bit of background to our listeners, N. Srinivasan, he was the secretary of the BCCI.
Now he's the president.
Oh, now he's the president, sorry.
Yeah, now he's
was the ex-secretary, now the president of BCCI.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I need to brush up on my Indian BCCI administrators.
Well, yeah.
But in any case, he's also the co-owner of Chennai Super Kings.
Yes.
And there lies the conflict of interest.
There is also two more conflicts of interest. The third conflict of interest is that he is the managing director of India Cements.
Yes, who are the owner of CSK.
Yeah. And the other is that he's also in the governing council of IPL.
Yes. Yeah. That's where the major conflict of interest lies, because if you are an owner, also a part of the governing council of the IPL, how do you expect other people to believe what you say?
Yeah.
And when you claim that you make a fair decision.
And do you make rules of player retention, for example?
Absolutely.
And be an owner of an IPL franchise. Let's delve into this issue first of all. I think what people should know first of all, what conflict of interest is okay. This definition may seem slightly wordy, because I'm reading it straight from a legal text. The actual definition says a conflict of interest or conflicting interest is anything that may have a harmful effect on the person's ability to fulfill the person's obligation to the client or duty. So this basically means is that there is a big issue of perception in this concept. You may or may not be thinking in your mind that you have conflict of interest, but do others perceive that you have conflict of interest? If there is a perception, then it is your job to recuse yourself from the 2 or 3 places that you are a member of. Now, we talked about N. Srinivasan. First of all, I don't know if many people know, BCCI execs are basically, this is an honorary position, so you don't get paid a lot. And cricket is such a small community, is that to make a living in this, and if you are also an administrator, you need to also be employed somewhere.
Elsewhere, yes.
If you are employed somewhere, most likely there will be some conflict of interest that can be perceived theoretically, right? So I think and I feel sorry for those administrators, and I feel sorry for Mr. N. Srinivasan, because administration is a thankless job, and to not get paid for it is basically a sin, and you have to pay your administrators so that they can make the best decisions from their own viewpoint, not from 3 or 4 different angles. You may or you may not be, but you can be perceived to do so.
I think you make a fair point there, but the fact that these people have taken up a position in an administrative environment such as the BCCI or any other industry it might be, it is their job to take a fair decision, and which I think they are taking. But as you claimed, as you mentioned, it's the perception that people have that these people might not be taking a fair decision just because they want to benefit themselves in more ways than one, or the other franchisees or other outfits they're part of.
Yeah.
So yes, it is all about perception, I believe. But again, we can never claim that someone is 100% clean, because there might be something that crossed their mind.
That's the problem with this. That is so my only, again, as I say, I theorize in every podcast. One theory that I have is that cricket is the way the cricket is run right now. It is sort of like a 1950s structure run in a 2011 era, because if you don't, okay, when was it okay to not pay your administrators? When you were a part of MCC, where the only people who are the part of MCC are lords and landowners in England. So if you maintain that structure, you cannot have that now, because now people are professionals. Like, they make their money from cricket. In those days, you used to make money from, say, owning land or being large industrialists. Now it's completely different. Now, for example, if you wanted to employ somebody like a Saurav Ganguly, who is now a commentator, you basically, that's his living, right? You can and if you ask him to be an administrator, he knows cricket. He cannot work anywhere outside, right? So conflicts of interest are bound to arise in this kind of a system.
That is absolutely true. That will bring us to our next point about Anil Kumble.
Anil Kumble, yes.
In this case, I think Anil Kumble is part of the Karnataka State Cricket Association.
He's the president of the KSCA, yes.
He is also a player mentor at, not the player mentor now, but just a mentor at the Royal Challengers Bangalore.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And he is a part of a company now, apparently, his own business, with another company which is involved in player management and mentoring.
Yeah.
Then, again, that's where the conflict of interest arises. Where
and that company manages Arvind and
other players from Karnataka.
Oh, yeah, other talents from Karnataka. So, is there conflict of interest? There can be perceived conflict of interest. Should he leave it to be safe? He should leave one of the two to be safe.
Perception, definitely there.
Definitely.
Because if my company is managing 3 or 4 players, and if I want my company to grow, I'll definitely promote those players outside, and that outside could be the state cricket team. And again, if they get picked up, even if of their own accord, of their own performances, there'll always be a question at the back of people's mind of, was there any foul play involved? And to avoid that, I don't really know if Kumble should. To be fair, right now with whatever information we have, I think he's best served by choosing one or the other, not both.
But I mean, again, when you're dealing with such issues, the issue of perception. I mean, Kumble will always have a soft spot because he's always been known to be honest. He's always known to be. So many people might not find it, but to be theoretically correct, I don't think he can manage two companies. Now let's go on to the media, because media also has a lot of people that are in have hands in too many jars, as they say. Now it's not just an Indian problem. Kevin Peterson's managing company is headed by Ian Botham. Okay. Ian Botham is the chairman for that. Now, Ian Botham commentates on Kevin Peterson. Is he going to give a very his own opinion on it, or will it be a sugar-coated opinion?
I think when you're on that post, you should be ethically and morally required to give an honest opinion, because a commentator is someone who should be unbiased without any affiliations to anyone playing or any team playing. But again, him being in that post cannot certainly guarantee that he'll always give an honest opinion, because again, his player, outside of that 3 or 4 hours or 5 hours of commentating, he has another life where he's the chairman of this company which runs or manages players like, again, Kevin Peterson. So him giving an honest opinion on his performance, yes, that could happen. Could he sugarcoat and give a different picture of what actually is? Yes, that can also happen. which
it can happen, but the thing is that what will the people think about his opinion? Like, for example, thinking about opinion is very important, because when Ravi Shastri came against Nasser Hussain during the summer fiasco, what happened, Indian people were sort of happy that somebody defended them. But when things started to come out about Ravi Shastri's employment with the BCCI and being the representative, now people are doubting that whatever he says, is it like
his actual feeling, is he actually standing up for us, or is just what the BCCI asked him to say?
Yeah. So I mean, very, very muddy waters that we are going through, and I think conflict of interest is an interesting topic, and I think cricket as a whole system needs to change for it to be solved, rather than having just one country being blamed.
And I think it all goes back to a point you previously made, and cricket is a very small community.
Yeah.
Cricketers are a small community, rather.
Yeah.
And
especially top class cricketers, like.
And if you're holding more than one spot or more than one position, conflict of interest is bound to happen. So unless stick to one job at a time, or if you select multiple jobs, then be prepared to face people's negative reactions like this, I guess.
Yeah. Interesting discussions. Yep.
Alright folks, moving on to our next segment, which is the moment of the week. This week we have the birthday of one of modern India or modern cricket's superstars, being Virendra Sehwag, the Nawab of Najafgarh.
Yes.
His birthday was on the 20th of October.
Yeah.
And now he has spent, I think, 10 years. This also marks 10 years of him being in the Indian cricket team.
Yes.
I think he started way back in 2001. This is 2011 now. So
South Africa.
An opportune time to talk about him.
Yeah.
Would you agree? One of the modern greats?
I think if I were to pick a player to entertain me, it would be Sehwag.
No, definitely.
I wouldn't take Gale. I would pick Sehwag.
One very peculiar thing about Sehwag, though, the player of his class and his style of playing, his attacking mindset, he's better at tests. A little less in one days, and he's actually not that great in T20s.
Yes, he's
have you seen his performances?
Yes.
His test match performances, average, his high scores, everything is amazing. He averages in mid-50s. He has two scores of 300 plus, and more. I think 3 more scores of 200 plus. Everything is perfect. When it comes to one days, he goes a little off the rails. His high score is again a decent 150.
I think 175
yes,
against Bangladesh.
Yeah, that's still pretty good. But again, he hasn't consistently.
It's not very frequent.
Exactly, he hasn't consistently scored a high score in one-day internationals. And T20s again.
T20s for India, he's not that good. But T20s for Daredevils, he's very good.
He's done well.
He's very good. I mean,
but you'd expect a player of his exciting cricketing brand would score more in the shorter format of the game, where you have the license to go and hit. But
the thing with his cricket is that his shots are actually very correct shots. They're not like the David Warner kind of. He's not a David Warner kind of a player. He's more of maybe a Sachin Tendulkar, but a faster Sachin Tendulkar.
And more attacking.
Yeah, a more attacking Sachin Tendulkar.
I think it goes back to one of his previous interviews where someone asked him the same question of why you're so much better in test matches and why not in the shorter format of the game, which should more suit your style of batting. And he said that he actually gets more time to settle in a test matches, while in a test match, while in one-day internationals and T20s there's pressure on him from ball one to go out and hit. And he's like, that's what he enjoys. He can settle in and he can take his time to build his innings. And once he goes past that 50, how many times do we know that he's gone past 150?
Yeah.
I think
in the last
10 or 12 scores of 50 plus, he's scored 150 plus.
Yeah.
So if he goes past 50, he's going to go past 150.
Yeah, and he has a template of his innings. First 30 runs come in the first maybe 25 balls, or in test matches I'm talking about. And then he slows down. And his slowing down is not slowing down of Dravid standards, but his slowing down is slow for him. And then he builds an innings, and he's a master of building an innings. And I mean, if I was ever that lucky, if I had to choose one player to see a day of Test cricket, it would be Sehwag. Yeah, if I go to maybe Firozshah Kotla, buy a ticket, and India's batting first on the first day, I am praying to God that Sehwag plays that whole day, because I will see a 100 on that day for sure.
Definitely, and I think he's one of the very few players in world cricket right now who can guarantee a sort of a double century in one day, or 100 before lunch or something like that. Some crazy feat like that.
Crazy feat. I mean, and you know, one thing that is really great about Sehwag is that he does not mince words. Whenever he's talking to media, one of the funniest moments for Sehwag, with Sehwag I've seen, is that the first match against Bangladesh in the World Cup, he said everybody played well except Sri Lanka. And Srisan got hit for 24 runs by Imrul Kayes, one of the Bangladeshi players. And I was laughing like crazy, because you would not hear, say for example, a Ganguly to say such things, who's very media trained, who knows how to, very, very, very interesting character.
Interesting character to watch, be it on the field or off the field.
Yeah, and then the best part about Sehwag is that he gives you a start.
Yeah.
He gives you a start. You know, I think the best match that I can remember of him giving us a start and winning us the game is, I think it was a match against England in Chennai, where India needed, I think, 380 to win.
Yeah,
and Sehwag scored 80 in 56 or 57 balls on the
fifth.
No, end of the fourth day.
Yeah, right.
And actually Sachin then built an innings. He needed actually 270 in the whole day to win us the match, Sachin Tendulkar, and he scored, I think, 124 or something. And probably that's the Sehwag effect. India would not have even thought of chasing 350, 340 on the last day. But it was Sehwag's 80 that actually gave India that 270-ish kind of day, which India was able to win.
Absolutely. I think India's rise in one-day and test matches can be highly contributed to the starts provided by him, because they actually open the door for India to push for victories rather than just settle for a draw.
Yeah.
And that is what's really important, to win at home and abroad because of the starts he provides. And I think if I have to select one innings of his to watch, I think that will be the 300 he scored in Multan against Pakistan.
Yes, me too. I was also going to say that.
Yes,
yeah.
I think that was one crazy innings.
I think he single-handedly ended the career of Saqlain Mushtaq that day. I mean, I haven't seen a man being swept for six so many times than that day, and reaching 300 by hitting a six, or reaching every 100 by hitting a boundary is sort of a Sehwag trademark that we have.
Absolutely, we've come to know and love.
Yeah, definitely.
I think he can do it, and I think he's encouraged his team members, since I think Gambhir did the same thing recently. I think he hit a boundary.
Let's not talk about the World Cup 97.
97. And I think even Sachin tried to do come down to doing the same thing now.
Yes.
I think he reaches his milestones with a big hit.
Yeah.
And I think that's the kind of effect Sehwag has on his teammates. Very positive and whole lot of positive energy he brings and infuses into the team, because you don't have to worry about how big the target is. If Sehwag gets going, no target is unachievable.
No target. And you know, Sehwag is actually a living testament of backing a player. I think I haven't seen a media go against a young player as much against Sehwag had to go through when he came up. Everybody was saying, "Ye kya khelta hai? He doesn't play test match innings. How can you keep him in test matches?" And it was good for Ganguly to keep him there. You know, very, very.
Ganguly saw something and actually promoted him. Him and John Wright both equally responsible for having him open in test matches, and which paid dividends. And India is enjoying right now.
Yeah.
All because of them. So hats off to both of them. With that, we come towards the end of this podcast. Thank you everyone for tuning in once again.
Yeah.
And we hope we entertained you.
Keep listening, yes.
Keep listening. Do send us feedback as usual.
Add us on Facebook at the Cricket Hotspot podcast. And we will... Actually, one interesting fact too, before we end it, we predicted our freebies comeback. That was
just a couple of episodes ago, and
last episode.
Actually, last episode,
yes.
we predicted Afridi's comeback, and within a week,
Yes.
our prediction has come
within
true.
3 days, yes.
Our
yes.
prediction has come true, and apparently he's announced that he's going to withdraw his retirement, and he's back for selection.
Yeah, and as we said, it was because of Ijaz, but
I think yes, it was bound to happen sooner or later. So, any case, now we are actually going to end.
Yes.
Good luck, guys. Good luck with everything. Have fun, and we'll see you again next week.
Yep.
And till then, take care and do like us on Facebook.
yes. Okay. Bye, everyone.
See you guys.